Hello everyone and welcome back to Lamplight City. Thank you very much for joining me today. We are carrying on right from where we left off last time out in this detective adventure game. We are this guy here, we are this detective, and we have this case that we're trying to solve. We're going to go straight to the cemetery, and we're going to speak to the guard here who's in front of this tomb. We need to get inside this tomb and we need to try and see if we can get this guy to let us in.
Good day to you, officer.
Afraid I ain't got time for idle chat, sir. Please, move along.
Oh, man.
Good day to you, officer.
Afraid I ain't got time for... Please, move along.
Right, well that has scuppered my plans somewhat. Because I wanted to kind of get him out of the way. It's entirely possible that I chose the wrong line of conversation last time when I did speak to him, because there was an option to tell him that somebody was being mugged, which he may have responded to. I didn't think he would, so I went for a different line of speaking to, and he wouldn't let us in. So a key point of this game is that you can screw everything up, basically, which I may have done, because now I don't see there's any way of getting inside here. So the evidence inside this tomb could be completely shut off to us, which is a real downside. Because I don't really know what to do next. That was my main thing I was going to do this time out, but we can't do that. We can't do that. So what I will do, I'm going to go to here. Oh, it's just her.
Welcome back, Mr. Fordham.
Let's speak to her again. See if there's any other dialogue options.
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
Oh man, we could ask about the back room. I didn't want to do that because she kind of gets a bit angry and we don't really want to annoy her, but...
About that back room of yours.
I beg your pardon?
I don't know about this, Miles. Is this really a road you want to go down?
Oh man. This is there's going to be some choices here we have to be really careful of, because again, if I make her angry, we might never be able to come back here, but there's no other dialogue options right now. I'm going to drop the subject for now.
Actually, never mind. I misspoke. Thank you for your help.
My pleasure.
Especially if we're being warned about it by by Bill, who's this ghost who's talking to us. There's really nothing else.
A rather unremarkable book collection, I'm sorry to say. For all we know, that rider is some sort of demon. He looks like he's having a good time, at least.
Yeah, we have looked at everything in here. There's nothing much here. So I'm hitting a bit of a roadblock here. I don't really know what other kind of lines of investigation to take. Let's go back to the jail and speak to this guy again.
Could I ask you some more questions, Mr. Martin?
It's not like I'm going anywhere.
Okay, so this guy is the one who's accused. Just in case you haven't seen any of the previous ones, the case here, there's a Madame Dupre who is kind of an elderly lady, kind of fairly high society, quite rich. She was announced dead and she was about to be buried, but then she woke up. She was about to be buried alive. So they suspect that she was poisoned. This guy's he's a voodoo practitioner and he's actually been accused of black magic, and he's about to be hanged tomorrow for the crime of attempted murder of Dupre. We believe he's innocent, and we're trying to investigate it to find out whether he is or not, or trying to find out who really wanted to try and kill her.
Albert, did you hate Madame Dupre?
The woman is cruel, sadistic, and bigoted. When she found out about my relationship with Juliet, she sent me a letter threatening to have me killed if I got near her house or her daughter. So yes, Mr. Fordham, I hated her. But even so, I love her daughter. I wouldn't be so cruel as to take Juliet's mother away from her, even if she hated her too.
I beg your pardon?
Juliet and her mother didn't get along at all. I never asked why, but it was obvious there was something going on.
Intriguing.
Okay,
That's
so
all for now.
we got a new clue, which is good because I needed these new clues, as I'm getting a bit stuck. Discover the source of Juliet and her mother's rift. Now, we did ask her about that before, but I think we'll go back and speak to Juliet and find out, see if we can press her a little bit more on this matter.
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
Okay, so she's been growing some plants and doing stuff. Actually, there's a very interesting thing that we found out last time. We investigated her apartment, and she's got these flies there and some plants there, and she's been using this thing called ethericity, which is this kind of steampunky technology, which apparently it says in her notes that if used on a human, could put them into a stupor, making them almost appear like they're dead. And she had something to do with that.
Do you know anything about ethericity, Miss Montgomery?
You surprised me, Mr. Fordham. I had no idea someone of your profession would know or care about something like that.
I've found that it pays to be open-minded.
To answer your question, yes, I am familiar with the theory of ethericity. In fact, it's recently become a focus of my studies. Despite what the newspapers have been reporting, it's already possible to access it in small quantities from the air around us.
Have you conducted any experiments?
No, my research has been purely theoretical. I don't have the means to do anything practical, I'm afraid.
Deceiver, dissembler, her trousers are alight. I can't understand why Juliet might not want to make her research public, though.
So, yeah, so we went to her apartment and there was experimental equipment there. We even tried one out.
Miss Montgomery, please don't lie to me. I know you've been conducting experiments with ethericity. I've seen the room you're renting on Forest Lane.
What? But how?
Yeah, I don't really want to say that we found a key in a room.
I wouldn't be very good at my job if I didn't find things out, Miss Montgomery. Now please, drop the act and tell me about your experiments.
Fine. I've been researching etheric effects on living organisms. I'm planning on presenting my discoveries to the board once I make more progress. So far, I've managed to discover that plant growth is accelerated significantly. It's given me quite the advantage in class.
But isn't that cheating?
You have no idea how difficult it's been for me to be taken seriously, Mr. Fordham. No matter how hard I tried, my work wasn't valued on its own merits by my peers or professors. I fought hard to get where I am. I wasn't about to lose all that just because some pig-headed idiots didn't think my best was good enough.
That sounds awfully familiar.
What about your notes on the effects of ethericity on animals?
Oh, those aren't complete. I haven't tested the effects on anything larger than flies. Those experiments were mainly to satisfy my curiosity, but they have little to do with my actual research.
Curiosity? Seems like a lot of effort to go to just to answer a question. But then, I never really understood these scientific types.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
Okay, so we didn't find anything more about her relationship, but I do remember, we're going to go back to the manor now, she said that she was very much friends with the kitchen servant who wouldn't speak to us before. Maybe we might be able to speak to her now. I must say, I haven't actually given any of my thoughts on this game so far, and I'm actually quite enjoying this. The whole detective thing is really quite fun to try and solve these clues and work out these things for yourself, and I'm quite enjoying it. Please do let me know what you think in the comment
Pardon
section.
me, miss.
Whether you enjoy it as well.
I told you I'm very busy, and I'll get in trouble if I'm caught speaking to you.
Yes, we know who she is.
Amelie, please. I need to know what you know about Madame Dupre.
What? How did you know my name?
Juliet told us, yeah, because she was friends with Juliet.
Juliet told me about you.
Miss Juliet?
Yes, I spoke to her at the university. She mentioned you two were friends.
Yes, that's right. She's always been so good to me.
Look, Amelie, I'm just trying to get some information. And I have a feeling you can be very helpful if you'd just let me talk to you.
All right, fine.
Lovely.
But do it as fast as you can.
Sure.
Tell me about Madame Dupre.
Oh, I really shouldn't, sir.
It would greatly help my investigation if you did.
Madame Dupre was kind enough to hire me as her cook. It's hard to get jobs in the city. Lots of people want their servants to use those new machines. My sister's brother-in-law got half his leg blown off by one of those new ovens. He's lucky he wasn't killed. So I'm plenty happy working here doing real people's work. But Madam can be difficult sometimes.
Difficult? What do you mean by that?
No, I said enough.
Yeah. So I think that was one of the things about Madame Dupre, who was resistant to new technology. She wanted to use things traditional ways. So these kind of steampunk technology that's being introduced around the world, she didn't really want to use that. So that would kind of be playing to that one. And of course, she's obviously very reluctant to speak bad of her employer. I mean, this is kind of sort of the 1800s that's set in, and there is, you can clearly see there's a major kind of race and class divide here. The black people are the servants. The guy who's Albert Martin, who's the suspect in the case, he's obviously black as well, and he was actually referred to as a half-breed, and actually spoken that pretty nastily to. So there's obviously there's a lot of racism here. There's class divides, the servants and higher things. So it's kind of really interesting kind of background to the story here. Let's see if we can find out more about. Let's find a bit more about Juliet. That's what we need to find out about.
What do you know about Juliet?
She was always so kind to me and the others, but her mother don't like that one bit. Still, she sneaks down into the kitchen to keep me company some nights. Even though she's a good soul, I think part of her does it just to spite her mother.
Yeah, but why?
What do you know about Madame Dupre's supposed death?
All I can tell you is that whoever did it really hated her.
Do you know Albert Martin, the man accused of the crime?
No, I'm sorry.
Are you the only remaining servant here?
No, there's another one, Marcel. He's the new gardener. I haven't seen him in a few days, though. Not since before Madame's incident.
Interesting.
What can you tell me about Andrew?
He ain't so bad. Kinda spoiled, but he mostly cleans up after himself. Has a whole private part of the house, but I think he only uses one room. Better for me. Way less to clean.
Thank you, Amelie. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Now please, let me get back to work.
Okay, so did we really find anything out here? We still need to find a way to distract Officer Grant, which I'm not too sure about. We need to find the steam gun, which I don't really know where to look for that. Investigate the tomb, but obviously we need to get the officer out of the way. Question the residents of Dupre Manor, which I'm trying to do. Maybe find that gardener and discover the source. So it's not really. So we picked up these tweezers, a useful tool for reaching things too small for human hands to reach. Or yeah, okay, but we haven't still got any suspects or anything. We're not doing very well here.
Looks like the type of spices you'd use.
Yeah, there's nothing much there. So the interesting thing about this game, normally you have an inventory. This game doesn't have it. If you've picked up an item, you can just click on something, and if it needs to be used on it, it will get used. We found out that when we tried to open the window in the first episode. It's an interesting way of doing about it. I guess we could try speaking to this guy again.
I have some questions for you. Oh, goody.
No, there's much be here. Oh, here we go.
I found this bottle of pills upstairs. Are they yours?
Yes, I take those from time to time when I'm feeling tired.
You seem to be out.
Yes, that is a pity.
Where do you usually acquire them?
Oh, they're available by mail order only. I'll have to remember to request some later.
Thanks for your time.
No, thank you for yours.
That's crazy. So I've no idea how to sort that out. You speak to the parrot?
Who's a pretty bird?
Ray's a pretty bird.
Polly want a cracker?
No, thank you.
Pieces of 8?
I'm meaty.
Who's a pretty bird?
Ray's a pretty bird.
Who's Ray?
So long, birdie.
Bye-bye.
Okay, interesting. Oh, man, I don't know where to. I think I've spoken to everybody, I think.
Her eyes are glazed over, and she's got a vacant, expressionless stare. She seems completely oblivious to her surroundings. If we didn't know she'd been buried alive, I'd say she was just exhibiting the typical symptoms of your average rich person.
Yeah, okay.
This quack hasn't gotten anything more for us to learn right now.
Okay. So there's nowhere else to go in the garden, is there?
With her vast sums of wealth, Madame Dupre could probably feed a starving family for the next 30 years. Instead, she uses the money to keep her hedges trimmed.
There's nowhere else to go, is there? So, where else could I go? Let me think about it. I could go home. Maybe I could go home. I haven't actually tried going home. Let's speak to, this is our wife here.
Honey, I'm home. You know, I've always wanted to say that.
Welcome home. So what's this big case Upton's got you on? Another missing pet?
If only. A Gascon Grand Dame was attacked and almost interred alive.
You mean Madame Dupre? The one whose obituary was in the paper?
The very same.
Goodness, that does sound serious. Tell me if there's anything I can do to help. I know you haven't been feeling your best lately.
You're always a help to me, Addie. Though I assure you I have this well in hand.
I certainly hope so.
Let's speak to her just in case you can give some insight.
Addie?
Yes, dear?
Oh, here we go. We can talk about stuff. Oh, distracting officer. That's what we want.
I was wondering if you could do me a favor.
What is it?
There's an officer posted in front of Madame Dupre's family tomb, and I need to get a look inside. Could you use your wiles and charm to distract him?
My wiles and charm,
Well, you are irresistible, darling. I'm sure he wouldn't turn away a lady in need. Say you've gotten lost in the cemetery and ask him to show you the way out.
Should we really be tricking a police officer like that?
Yes.
There's no harm in it, and I won't be but a moment inside. It's in a good cause.
All right, let's go then.
Oh, fantastic. Brilliant.
Excuse me, officer. I was wondering if you could help me?
What do you want?
I seem to have gotten all turned around. Do you have any idea how to get to the front gate?
My suggestion would be to turn around and head back the way you came.
Yes, I've tried that, but I seem to just be going in circles. Perhaps you could point me in the right direction?
Stop right there. That's quite enough from you.
I beg your pardon?
Don't think I can't tell what your game is. You're trying to lure me away from here and into some alley where your gang of Sambos is gonna rob me blind. Exactly how many of them have you got lying in wait for poor unsuspecting fools you bring them?
Wow.
Just one.
Yes!
And he doesn't appreciate you talking to his wife that way.
You know, Miles, sometimes I forget how absolutely delightful it is to watch you lose your head.
Miles, was that really necessary?
I think
I'm
it was.
sorry, Addie. You know how I get with people whose minds are full of that rubbish.
Let's just get him out of sight before this lands both of us in jail. That bush over there should work.
Brilliant. Oh, that was satisfying.
I have to say, I wasn't expecting assaulting a policeman to be on today's activity list.
It'll be fine. When you're on the force as long as I was, you can pretty much get away with murder.
Although I think you may have already used up that privilege.
Well, it's been fun, but I need to take my wiles and charm over to my appointment with Mrs. Lefebvre. I'll see you at home later, dear. Try to stay out of trouble.
That was brilliant. Wow. So the guy was, he said that he'd been having a reputation of being a gentleman. No one ever said about him being horribly racist. Oh, that was satisfying. I really enjoyed that. That was a really nice touch. Oh, right, in the tomb. Let's have a look around.
That nest is full of eggs. But where's the mother bird?
Perhaps she abandoned it.
Always assuming the worst, aren't you, Miles? What a dramatic statue. I'm rather surprised no one has defaced it. These crypts are reserved for future generations of Chestertons to rot in.
There are only 3 left.
Then let's hope the Chestertons aren't opposed to spending eternity cozied up to one another.
Okay, let's look at some of these crypts.
Dale Chesterton, 1795 to 1843. A good man. Rest in peace. Sarah Chesterton, 1784 to 1812. I told you I was sick. Jane Scott Chesterton, 1746 to 1815. Ab Eterno. Desmond Chesterton, 1745 to 1810. Strong in life, stronger in death.
Oh, what's that supposed to mean?
Celine, 1823 to 1844. Taken too soon, rest ye with the angels. John Patrick Chesterton, 1740 to 1825. Patriarch, leader, family man. William Arthur Chesterton, 1770 to 1837. Gone but never forgotten. Douglas Chesterton, 1791 to 1840. Good riddance.
That's a good one.
This must be what was going to be Madame Dupre's final resting place.
I don't see anything inside.
What, were you expecting a note from her attacker?
No, but I was hoping for some kind of clue at the very least.
I suppose the whole heaven shining down upon the tomb motif is good for the dead people's self-esteem.
Well, I must say, it's a bit of a disappointment.
This must be what was going...
I don't see anything.
What?
No,
Yeah.
but
Nothing much there.
These crypts are reserved for future...
there are only 3 left.
Then let's hope the Chestertons aren't opposed to spend... What a dramatic statue. I'm rather surprised no one has defaced it.
There's nothing else in here.
That nest is full of air.
Perhaps she abandoned.
Always a...
Okay, done all this. Alright, let's check. Investigate the Chesterton tomb, which is what we're doing. Really nothing else in here.
This just goes to show you can't take it with you, so you might as well spend it all on a giant tomb.
Anything on the outside of the tomb then? Doesn't appear to be so. Investigate the Chesterton tomb, but we... Oh, am I missing something? Let's try these again, just in case.
Dale Chesterton, 1795 to 1843. A good man. Rest in peace.
There's not really much else to do. Let me just carefully... Sometimes you have to pixel hunt these things. You have to make sure there's nothing that you've missed. Nothing about these windows. You've got this nest. Because the thing is, I've got nothing else. I can't do anything. I mean, I can only click on things. And I've clicked on everything that's in here.
John Patrick Chesterton, 1740 to 1825. Patriarch, leader, family man.
So now that we've looked at these names, there was a book somewhere, where was it, in the Dupre Manor, which had a history of the Chesterton family, I think. It's quite possible we could maybe look up some of these names. I don't know whether I should actually write some of these down. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go to the Dupre Manor. We'll see if we can find that book again. See anything I can think of, really. And see whether or not that leads to anything different. And if we do need to find some names, well, we can always come back to the crypts there. So let's go upstairs and see if we can find that book again. I believe it was in this room. Here we go, I think it was here.
Doesn't appear to be very brief if there's 2 volumes of it. I wonder if anyone outside the family would find this even remotely interesting.
No, there's nothing there. Now, if I click up here, does that give me a different shelf? Or down here? No. There's really...
Choice and consequence. Who in their right mind would write a book about that?
So I wonder if there's any more clues here. There's nothing nothing here, nothing else here. I can't do anything with these books. We've looked at all these books. Nothing much there. That's 1680 to 1760. 1760 to 1810. Is that a 10? Is that a 0 or... sorry, is that a 1 or a 4? I think it's a 1. Well, I must say, I'm kind of confused now.
Let's see if there's anything in these drawers. Damn, nothing but personal effects and more stationery.
Don't forget the first rule of detective work. If there's nothing useful inside, check underneath and between.
Ah, yes, of course. Thanks for the reminder.
Now this is intriguing.
There we go. Oh, nice. I must have missed this last time. I'm not going to warn you again, you disgusting... I can't read what that says. Something thug. Stay away from my daughter and my house or I'll kill... Yeah, so that was a threatening letter that Albert Marston said he got, I think. I'm guessing. Torn letter. Okay, I'm not going to warn you again, you disgusting mulatto thug. I don't know what that means, I've never heard that word before. Stay away from my daughter and my house or I'll kill you myself, I guess that says. Right. What does that do? I guess we need to... I might have another look around. Let's just check these drawers. I think we looked in them.
This is always my favorite part of detective work.
Nothing inside but a bunch of extra doilies.
How disappointing. Maybe you should steal one, just to spite Madame Dupre for not giving us any good clues.
No, Bill.
You're no fun, Miles.
Okay, let's have another look in here. Let's explore a little bit more, because I'm obviously missing something. That's very... Can you just about hear that? I didn't do that before. Interesting. Turn that off. Okay.
Why would anyone need so many flowers in one room?
Perhaps it's to mask the odors of those chemicals on the workstation.
Could be.
But so there's nothing really on this workstation that we can do anything with.
Decadent. Is this really the best that medical science has to offer?
Yeah, we've looked at everything here.
What in the ether is that thing supposed to be? Actually, I'd rather not know.
So we do have these... Oh, a piece of paper!
It looks as though this folded piece of paper is being used as a bookmark. I hope remembering what page they were on wasn't too important.
Looks like it's a letter for Andrew.
Oh, we missed this before as well. Enclosed is the agreed upon fee. I wouldn't be able to concentrate on exams without this help. Dr. Tennyson charges an obscene amount. Thank goodness for good people like you with home pharmacies. I'll look for them in the usual spot under the Weeping Angel. P.S. Sorry to hear about your mother, and I'll wait a few days before passing by. Okay, right. Back to the tomb. Back to the tomb. Yeah. That's what we need to do. Fantastic. So that's maybe why they're there, because we needed to find that clue. Always pays to really look around. Back to the tomb, because still get in. The Weeping Angel. That's what's in here. Oh, it's exciting. Here we go.
What a dramatic statue. I'm rather surprised no one has defaced it. Hang on. You don't suppose this is...
Yes, I do. Now we can do something with it.
Surprise, surprise! A hidden compartment with a stash of pills inside. Seems Mr. Montgomery has a little business on the side.
Oh, sweet. Let's go over here. So yeah, I think we'll go back to the manor and use these pills on Andrew. I think that's going to be quite exciting. Let's do that now. So yeah, back to the manor. We'll give the pills to the guy. He might wake up a little bit. He might have a heart attack, but we're prepared to risk that, I think.
I have some questions for you.
Oh, goody.
You'll never believe what I found in your family's tomb.
Oh? Was it a ghost?
No, it was these vigor pills. You wouldn't happen to know how they got there, would you?
I see you really are good at your job, aren't you, Mr. Fordham?
Look, Andrew, I'm in no mood for games.
Okay, so what can you say? We could threaten him to report him to the police. We could just ask for his cooperation, or just be quiet and take one of these pills. That's what we want to do. Just be quiet and take one of these pills.
Just be quiet and take one of these pills.
I suppose one would help. Thank you.
This guy's voice. Cracks me
My
up.
goodness, I always forget how fast those pills work. My heart is racing. You said you had questions, didn't you? Well, go on, ask them already. We mustn't waste any more time.
Here we go.
That seems to have done the trick. I
Certainly
just
does.
hope we haven't doomed him to a heart attack.
Well, we'll risk it. Let's find out more about this stuff.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
I can't believe anyone would be so cruel as to do what that wretched bastard Martin did to her. Mother is kind and generous, and everyone loves her. She's even good enough to hire actual people to do the housework. Not many wealthy families do that, you know. They just use automated machines or hire servants to operate the manual ones.
Okay, let's find out a bit more about... well, we'll go through all of this, I guess. What about... So I'll leave Juliet to last because he was not keen about talking about it before. So let's not alienate. We don't want to cut off any of these things if he refuses to talk to us anymore. Find out a bit more about his pill business.
So, you're running some kind of pill business on the side.
I'm providing a service, Mr. Fordham. Not everyone in this life is as lucky as I am. People pay top crown for luxuries like airship tickets and social club memberships. Medicine should be affordable to all. Dr. Tennyson has a patent on the energy pill formula and thus a monopoly on the market. That means he can charge whatever he wants. Students use these kinds of pills all the time, you know. Academic rigors can be overwhelming, and concentrating can be difficult without help sometimes. I've got the skills and the equipment. If I can replicate the formula, help my fellow students, and sell them at a much more reasonable price, why shouldn't I?
There's the fact that what you're doing is illegal.
Oh, you're starting to sound just like Mother. And just because it's illegal doesn't mean it's immoral. I can think of plenty of examples where the opposite is true.
You're probably the most altruistic person I've met all month.
The sad part is it's true.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. He's got a fair point there, actually. Okay, then, let's find out a bit more about the death here.
What exactly were the circumstances leading up to your mother's supposed death?
A few days ago, I arrived home from school and found her collapsed on the floor. She wasn't breathing, so I immediately contacted Dr. Fellows. He examined her and pronounced her dead. We were all completely shocked. I was devastated. She'd been in fine health. In fact, she'd just been out riding that morning. You can imagine our surprise at the funeral when she sprang back to life.
Yeah.
How do you typically spend your days, Mr. Montgomery? What are your interests?
I study pharmacology at the university. I'll be graduating next year if all goes well. I just hope Mother has recovered enough by then to understand what's going on. She and Jean were so proud of me when I started university. I'd be so disappointed if she couldn't see me finish.
Who is Jean?
I take it Jean is your stepfather.
He is. Mother married him 5 years after my father died of consumption.
My condolences. Do you have a good relationship with him?
Not terribly. Truth is, I hardly ever see him. In fact, before the funeral, I hadn't seen him at all this month.
Where is he now?
I don't know for certain, but it seems likely he's at his hunting cabin.
His hunting cabin?
Yes, he often goes there. It's his way of leaving polite society behind and spending time with his thoughts. Considering what Mother just went through, well, I would guess that's where he's gone. Although, to be honest, I don't know why he's not here with Mother in her time of need.
Why do people run away from their problems instead of facing them? Why, Miles?
Do you know where this cabin is?
Afraid not. I don't share his passions, so I never cared much to accompany him on his outings.
Okay, we need to find that then, I guess. Let's find a bit more about the servants.
What's your relationship with the servants like?
Relationship? I don't have one with them. They're servants. Mother always made it clear that they weren't part of the family, just help. We've only got 2 on staff right now, though, the kitchen girl and the gardener.
Okay.
That's a rather exotic bird you've got.
Yes, Ray is nice when he's
Ray
quiet.
is the parrot.
But get him started and it's tough to shut him up.
Who trained him?
I think he already knew some phrases when Mother bought him. She's managed to teach him a few new ones, though.
How is it you know Albert Martin?
He works at the greenhouse where my sister Juliet does her research. The 2 of them were involved romantically, and Mother didn't like that at all. I heard their fights. They were ghastly.
What exactly made you suspect he was the one responsible for what happened to your mother?
Well, I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? His mother's a notorious voodoo witch. Those people do all sorts of awful things to our kind. It's all out of spite, you know. He knew Mother disapproved of his relationship with Juliet, so he plotted to get rid of her.
What can you tell me about your sister, Juliet?
Juliet, smart as a whip and just as forgiving. She's a fighter, that one. Despite being the only woman in her class, she's managed to rank at the top.
Impressive.
I only wish Mother was more accepting of Juliet going to university. But you don't want to hear about boring family matters, I'm sure.
Oh, but family matters are my favorite. It's always so reassuring to know how much worse off everyone else is.
Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
Right, so let's check our casebook then. So, question the residents of Japan. So we've still got more questions to ask people. Investigate the chest. We've done the tomb though. Are we still missing something at the tomb? Maybe. We still need to discover the source of Juliet and her mother's rift, and we need to locate Jean Dupre's hunting cabin. Okay, well, let me think about it. I think that's probably a good point to leave it then. We've got some more clues, but we're still far away from finding out exactly what we need to do. It's a little bit tricky because I've kind of done these things really. I mean, these ones I don't really know how to do. The tomb, I really didn't see that there was anything else out of the tomb, but maybe something else will come up later. Just like the fact that we couldn't find the pill straight away, maybe there's something else there where we need more clues. Question the residents of Dupre Manor. There's obviously more things to find out about them. Nothing else here. Yeah, we've got nothing new here really. But yeah, so okay, we've got some other things that we need to do, so that's a really good point to leave it then. Thank you very much for watching. Please do continue to let me know what you think about this game in the comment section. Any suggestions as to what you think we might want to do, stick them down in there. No spoilers though, although I don't think people will be able to give me spoilers because this game isn't released yet. I'm actually playing this before it's released. It's going to be coming out in September, available on Steam. This isn't the full game anyway, this is just the first case. Looks like a fairly expansive game. I'm quite looking forward to the full release, and if this proves to be popular, we'll carry on playing the full release when it gets released in September sometime. But anyway, yeah, we're going to be carrying on with this case next time out, so I will see you then. Goodbye.